Maju to Aza. Yeah, no, congratulations. You have no idea. I'm sitting over there with Denny in the Future Match booth, and we're watching this, and we can't even believe. Fairy Tale Snow, but he chose not to because he got honest. He wanted to be defensive. And yeah, and like, even then when you attacked, if he would have honested his Minerva instead, he lives at 100. Fairy Tale Snow, yeah, so it was just a crazy set of games. He wanted to be defensive. Drawing double Pot of Desires both games, yeah.
That's a pretty lucky by me. But it was a really fun match, and I'm glad it got like a good showing on stream. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. I mean, I was excited. So, what made you decide to play this deck? Yeah, the one thing, obviously, the interesting tech that I feel like the only card in your deck that's maybe been released within the past 2 years is Eater of Millions. Everything else is from so long ago. So, what inspired you to play this or bring this to such a big competitive tournament?
Well, I'll tell you a little story. So I started with the, it's not my invention per se, but I've seen a lot of, decks like it. And card is banished, you gain 500 life points. And as I was testing, I realized that Soul Absorption is not the greatest card, and so I just replaced those with just more Swift Scarecrows to stall more. Well, it didn't really show in that match. Yeah. But it's allowed me to live longer and install so I can banish enough cards. I call it like a combo deck because you need like a Twin Twister sometimes to clear the back row, and then you have enough banish cards to attack.
Plus your Grand
right. So so those are like the hand traps I run, so I can protect myself. And it's just something that I was browsing online and I saw the card and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I decided to give it a go. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That is the Yu-Gi-Oh dream, right? You saw the card, this seems fun, you play it and you bring it here, and you're successful. You're 3-0-1 now, so you're seeded pretty well. But yeah, it's interesting because, like you said, your hand traps are completely different than everyone else's hand traps, right? Like yours just try to prolong the game and sort of make sure you get extra turns, whereas everyone else is trying to disrupt, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't really, I try not to interact with my opponent until, I'm like going for the lethal attack, and they just don't, help my game plan really because I'm going to lose an advantage most games anyway. So, I'm only trying to do 8,000, right? That's the goal, to do 8,000. So I figured those cards were the best for my deck.
Yeah, no, it's super interesting. Even the Soul Absorption thing, like you said, like when you initially see that card in this kind of deck, you're like, oh, this is a huge payoff, right? Pot of Desires plus Eater of Millions, I'm gaining thousands and thousands of life. But it's funny that, like, just given the state of where we're at right now, a Swift Scarecrow is just going to be better, right? Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Congratulations. Yeah, hopefully you make it to Top Cut because I would love to feature this again. We'll be back shortly. Well, actually, probably not that shortly. You want so fast. We'll be back with more action here at YCS San Diego. Make sure to stay tuned.
All right, Daniel starts off with Magical Musketeer Caspar. Caspar, if a spell or trap card is played in the same column, lets you add another Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand. Only one per turn, however. And Rodolfo is going ahead and checking that out on his own. That is correct. Caspar gets you a Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand. Starfire special summons level 4 or lower from the deck. Those two are the ones that you generally are going to start off with. Although there are some other trickier combo-centric builds that like to see Calamity and Brilliant Fusion in their starting hand so they can immediately put Mastermind's Vacuole on the field.
Yeah.
Ash Blossom blocks the Pot of Desires. However, the search goes through, and it searches for Magical Musket Desperado.
Yeah, destroys a face-up card on the field.
You heard him. Destroys a face-up card on the field. The search goes through. Because there is searches for a Magical Musketeer on the field.
He can play it from his hand
during either player's turn.
Nice.
Lets you just get around spell and trap removal completely.
Yeah. Looks like Danielle is just going to pass now. A couple hand traps and a trap that he can play from his hand at the ready. Start with Terraforming. I'm sure that at resolution that's going to probably be answered by Joel and Lockbird. I don't think he wants to Ash Blossom that here. He'd rather save it in case his opponent has Gamma.
Indeed.
Please make your way over to the public event stage.
He's not, but let's go.
That's interesting.
I think he's going to...
oh, he's going to disrupt Casper. I see.
Chain destroying that, and he gets another search off of Caspar. Now that's once during each player's turn. It is a trigger effect Not a quick effect, which is important because there is a counter trap in this theme. And I think it's pretty likely that he'll go get either that or the spell card Cross Domination. Get another negation, essentially, either of anything or of monster effects. And it looks like he has taken Last Stand. Yes, negates a spell or trap card. So Last Stand, spell or traps, Cross Domination, monsters, and also reduces their attack to 0.
And we see Fool's Burial Goods. He can Ash Blossom this, but I don't know if he wants to. It still opens him up to getting hit by Psyframe. Your Gamma.
I don't know that I would Ash Blossom this. Because unless he has something else to go with it, he's just losing a card there for now.
Yeah, oh, it looks like he's going to Last Stand it.
Oh, that's interesting. All right. Caspar has taken a small vacation and to be read by our staff. Second terraforming up next.
Now he's going to get hit by Drone Lockbird. See, this is what I was talking about earlier, though. He could have used the Drone Lockbird on probably the first terraforming and then not needed to use a lot of his other cards and then probably get an additional trigger off of Caspar. So.
My theory is that he's trying to simplify the game here. He's just trying to get as many cards out of Rodolfo's grip as possible.
I see what you're saying.
And he passes, and Rodolfo left the mission or the resort in his hand, which is very wise because he only has one monster in his graveyard to pay for, keeping it around.
Yep. Second Pot of Desires here from Daniel.
He's getting a lot of free cards this game. Now, one of the scary things if you're Rodolfo is that you've drawn Max C, and this is not a deck that does a lot of special summoning.
I thought you were saying one of the scary things here. If you're Daniel, you've just banished 20 cards from your deck.
It's true.
Yeah, that would be what I'm a little bit concerned with. Less than, oh, I might have a dead Maxi.
Honestly, though, like every game that I resolve 2 Pot of Desires in, I feel pretty good because I got 4 extra cards.
I didn't even realize. So Daniel's playing double summon too. I'd not seen that Magical Muskets yet, but that seems really good, right? Because you get an additional monster in play, you get a trigger of one of your Musketeers, and then you get double triggers going.
It is. That's good. Rivals is good because you can do it in battle.
Monster in play,
And personally, I like Brilliant Fusion, but that's because I'm a sucker for Mastermind Zakiel, and I like to get that card on the field. I think most of the competitive builds, however, aren't going to use it, just because it doesn't really mesh with the rest of the theme. All the rest of them do something right then, but Zakiel doesn't do anything until the end of your opponent's turn. And he's added Starfire to his field. Starfire is one of the special summoning cards. Summons a level 4 or lower from your deck in defense position when something's activated in her column. And man, Daniel's hand is really good. Another Droll, Ash Blossom. Cross Domination is the quick play spell. And Fiendish Deal is a continuous trap that makes your monsters unable to be destroyed by card effects.
So you had 55 to 8,000. Go ahead.
Rodolfo's up. He picks up a trap.
Yeah. Leaning pretty heavily on that Spiral Resort, which is very likely to get disrupted.
Is his trap evenly matched?
It looks like it might be.
It is.
But even if it's not even that good
rough.
here,
It's not good in this scenario.
Luckily, Magical Musketeers gets to play a lot from the hand, so evenly matched, never too powerful against them because they'll at least have their one Musketeer after it and then still be able to play all the cards that they have during the opponent's turn.
And I like how Rodolfo really slammed that thing down in an unoccupied column. Like, okay, I got this. I know how this works.
Looks like he's responding with the Fiendish Deal.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Effective search. Yeah, no problem.
Goes ahead. And gets a search. It looks like he's playing more than 40 cards.
It looks like it might be 43.
43?
Yeah. Fiendish Deal being a continuous, though, means it permanently occupies that zone.
43.
Yeah.
That's one of the challenges. So you don't really run a whole lot of Fiendish Deals. You just play the one.
It permanently occupies that zone.
43. 43 puts Rodolfo in not very good spot.
Yeah. Maxi and DD Crow. The best and worst offerings, or whether he honestly in the other monster deck.
DD Crow,
Hand trap arguably in the Spiral deck. Yeah. It's usually just used as part of one of their combos, right? They search it with Lycris and end up special summoning it usually just used as part of one of their combos, right? So they search it with Lycris and end up special summoning it off of a Firewall. So even though it is probably the oldest hand trap in this deck, it's actually not used in that way. So he's going to Upstart on him to find another Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. So it looks like Daniel might just have this game sort of locked up. He has enough answers for the next 3 turns, it looks like. And so as long as his Caspar is able to keep getting in there.
It's going to be a little tough for him, though, if Rodolfo comes up with something big, because Caspar doesn't have a whole lot of attack points. I believe he's only 1,200.
Well, he has Cross Domination, right?
He does have Cross Domination, but he really needs another monster.
So he can continue getting the triggers?
Oh, yeah, he needs another monster for the triggers, but also to actually just be able to take Rodolfo out.
Oh, I see what you're saying, a faster clock.
Yeah, he actually needs to win the game.
Yeah. Oh.
Interesting, okay.
Xyz Link? Xyz Summon. See what he chooses here.
You got to be careful here, because once you take your Magical Musketeers off the field, you can't use your muskets anymore.
Haven't seen that in a long time. That's Stellar Knight, right?
It's Constellar Hyades?
Hyades. Hyades. Boom.
It's not light. It's not light.
Oh, he can't Xyz on that because
Nope.
it's not a light.
It's fire. Seeing what else he's got here. What is in this extra deck? Consular Hyades, we saw. He probably wanted that to go into Ptolemy M7. Nightmare Shark.
I know, right?
Phantom Knight's Break Sword. One of the Djinns. Muzu Rhythm. Interesting. Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have a. No, he did have a play.
With which one?
He could have played Phantom Knight of the Break Sword.
It looks like it might be.
Yeah, DDD Stone King Darius wouldn't work because they aren't both fiends.
Yeah, these can't be destroyed by this can't be destroyed by card effect.
Yeah, Nightmare Shark.
This is destroyed by your card effect. I get to search from the deck right.
Can Ash Blossom also be used from the field like Ghost Ogre?
Yes.
That's interesting. Looks like Ramirez drew another hand trap, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, but 1800 defense.
Yeah, that is worth something. Oh.
Is that ties?
It's ties, but I don't know that
man.
he has cards left.
Yeah.
No, this is just getting silly. He's got Dante as well. There's Phantom Knight's Break Sword.
Yep. Getting hit with Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, but got the DD Crow. That's so interesting. He set the DD Crow and not the Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
Huh. I guess it's because he had to use it that way to get rid of something.
Yeah. Daniel also just used both of his Ash Blossom and Joy Springs.
Yeah, I don't know that he has. I don't know if he has any monsters left.
This Caspar just has to go the distance. He has steady hands and cross domination in his hand.
Yep.
Terraforming drawn for turn. He's going to check if he can activate it.
I only
But
saw
Daniel
two
still
results.
has Drone Lockbird.
Yep.
Shovels it to the front of his hand.
And he is ready. This is one of the strangest games I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one.
That's it. He gets double summoned, but no monsters. I think we can reasonably infer that he definitely doesn't have 2 monsters left.
Mm. Attacks directly for 12.
1200 more. You got to get there 3 more times.
29. Go ahead. 3 cards in that, right? Yeah.
There's Super Agent for Rodolfo.
And this time it finally works.
Yeah.
Is there an upstart? Yeah. Yeah, there was an upstart when he was an alpha access back.
Gonna grab Drone so that he can enable his Super Agent in his hand.
Is that going to get hit with cross domination? He's going to have to cross domination Spiral Drone?
Is that better than cross dominating the Helix? Right, like, yeah, he gets to
Oh, there was a
link
monster,
summon.
and it was on top of the deck, and now it super won't be.
Nope. Looks like a spell, then Cyclone, and the monster got buried. Of ties.
Let me check. I'm not sure if it's not activated.
I think the reason you would cross domination the drone is to force them to guess.
Yeah, I understand. And then
Caspar
maybe they
can't beat
miss.
he can't beat the Helix.
Yeah.
Yeah, activated effect. Pop.
It's destroying the Fiendish deal, though.
That's interesting.
Oh, that'll let Daniel shuffle his deck if he's got anything else.
And for double Helix, you have to...
Effect. Chain.
1 second, let's bring up double Helix. Yeah, because you still have to guess with double Helix, right? If he gets to shuffle his deck, so
Yes.
there's a chance that he misses.
Goes for double Helix.
Goes to 24.
I don't think he did it right. Unless he's doing it before double Helix's effect was activated. Oh, I thought I heard the activation of double Helix's effect.
Oh, no. Still guesses right, though.
And he still had the domination in his hand.
That's interesting. And his guy's at 2,400, right?
Yeah, his guy's at 2,400 now.
Oh, but he can't. The Spiral Resort makes it so the opponent's monsters can't be targeted, right? By effects?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
issue with cross domination.
Yeah, I can't see the spirals.
Yeah, it's a little bit off board there.
And he actually can't use... I don't think he can use Master Plan's effect because he's gone through all the resorts.
It's 24, right?
Oh, interesting. I wonder if he might have been better just sitting there on Helix and Master Plan.
Yeah, those stats aren't bad, right? Master Plan has large defense.
Oh, no, I can't.
Yeah, I can't do Ningirsu. He needs all link monsters.
I'm going to go Gaia.
Oh. Where's Gaia?
And this monster can be targeted, right? So cross domination also reduces the monster to 0.
Let's look up cross domination because it's a
Okay.
little strange. Changes its attack defense 0 also has its effects negated.
Yeah, you
Okay.
thought it might
Yeah,
need to
I
negate the
thought it
effect
might need
first.
to
Yeah,
negate the
so it
effect.
wouldn't have worked against Gaia because it doesn't have an effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd have been a very interesting interaction, but does not, in fact, work that way.
Yeah, Daniel I'm not sure if I would have called this Eeks one out. I don't really know what happened towards the end of that. A lot of cards were played, and I'm not sure if the best decisions were made, but
someone won.
Yeah. A. Ramirez won.
That was, I mean, I said it during the game, but that is one of the strangest games I've ever seen happen.
Yeah.
Where you have just one monster left in the deck, so you can't use ties. And you just hand traps everywhere. How many hand traps did we see in that game?
Between the two of them? Between the two of them, at least 8, right? Or actually, no, at least 6. Because there was 2 Ash Blossoms and the Droll on Daniel's side, right? And was there another one?
He had 2 Drolls, okay, 2 so that's Ash 4. Blossoms, and a Ghost Ogre.
So 5.
And then Ramirez had Crow,
Rodolfo.
Max. Rodolfo,
yeah.
That's right.
Crow, Maxi.
Ghost Ogre.
Okay.
Ash Blossom.
Okay. That's 9.
Oh, boy. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cards that just made other things not happen.
Yeah.
But then we saw the power of Caspar.
Yeah,
how
no,
many cards
really take over.
Caspar?
Well, I think also, even before we get there, like, this shows the weakness of hand traps in a way, right? Like, if you're not able to answer just a little bit your opponent can do and you're stuck with all these hand traps, right, there has to be this balance that you meet. And I think that certain duelists are relying on, you know, oh, my initial combo goes off. Oh, I'm able to stick with this one threat, and then I sort of back it up with hand traps from there. But if you can't stick that initial threat, all these hand traps, like, you can't play from behind, right? We saw that a lot with Maxi in the past. Like, Maxing from behind never really did too much, right? Because you were still losing on the field. And I think that is an issue we see even more with these hand traps like Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
Oh, so here's a question. Evenly matched.
Yeah.
It's a trap. You play it from your hand.
Is it a hand trap?
Is it a hand trap?
You could also argue it's very good going second, which is why the hand traps are good.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think evenly match is the truest of the hand traps.
The real hand trap?
Yeah, like it is the, yeah, like, yeah, it has to be, right? Delta Crow anti-reverse, evenly matched, similar, yeah. Typhoon, that's another good one.
Well, we saw evenly matched in that game as well.
Yeah? Oh, does that count? Okay, then
if
do you
count
count every single trap that Daniel played from his hand as a hand trap?
No.
No, why not?
No, because those cannot actually be played from their hand on their own.
Unless you have something else?
Yeah, there's nothing internal to them that does it. It's the monsters that allow that to happen.
Sure. I feel like as close to internal, though, like their monsters in their same archetype allow them to. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Hand traps.
Okay, so is the Magical Musketeer the hand trap deck?
It is.
The hand deck? The quick draw?
Kind of it's very... kind of indescribable, really. The Magical Musketeer deck, it's not like any of the other Yu-Gi-Oh decks.
Yeah, no, that is definitely true. You get to play, you interact with your opponent completely from your hand during your opponent's turn. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a rare thing, usually.
Yeah.
But with this, it's everything, and I think that's part of why it's been so popular lately, is that it's just a cool mechanical execution that you don't see anywhere else.
Like, the spiral matchup, you really have to, like, pray open a good hand trap and pray you have to follow it.
Yeah, looking at side decks, do you think there's anything that we're going to see from either side?
That's a good question. I don't know how many people were actually anticipating that any of the cards from Spirit Warriors would see play.
So you think they didn't prepare for a deck like...
I don't think anybody prepared for this, and it looks like nobody actually figured out how the Six Samurai deck works.
Yeah.
So everybody who didn't prepare for that is safe.
Yeah, I think Rodolfo's side deck is also very much what we'll see throughout this tournament, where it's a bunch of trap cards, actual good trap cards, right? And you replace those, like your hand traps, you replace them when you go first with these trap cards that can interact a little bit better. We also see
the Regeki and Dark Hole.
Yeah, as additional cards for going second, like the evenly match. I think these last 6, including the Ghost Reapers, are probably what he brings in even there. What I'm interested in is the Pointer of the Red Lotus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a card that you don't see a whole lot because it's kind of got an exorbitant cost attached to it. But if you do resolve it, you can get a peek at your opponent's hand and essentially just knock a card out of it temporarily.
Yeah.
That's why it costs, what, 2,000, and you have to show them your hand?
Yeah. 2,000 life points, and you reveal all the cards in your hand to look at your opponent's hand and select one card. Remove that card from playing it until your opponent's next end phase. Yeah.
Just keeping something that they searched out of play for a turn can be enough
to
make the
with how fast the Spiral deck is able to turn things around too, even though it's just until the next end phase, that's not that bad.
I don't really know what cherries would do in this matchup, though.
I don't think it does anything. No, I think it's just for the spiral mirror.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
I got you.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, it's actually not even that. I was talking to a lot of duels about this last night. That Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries just does not line up well against 99% of the field other than Spiral. It's not very good against the Pendulum deck. It's strong against ABC. It's not very good against Trickstar.
It's only good against ABC in game 1, though, because they're going to put in that pot of acquisitiveness.
Yeah, and then get you game 2.
Well, it looks like our duelists are ready. And I see some purple and some foreheads over on Daniel's side. Load that in, and we see that Rodolfo has
a solid hand. He has full
he's got
Spiral
some
Goods
gas.
and Terraforming, but he drew Spiral Master Plan. Does he play a second copy? No.
Yeah, it can summon from your hand, can it? Can you look summon from your hand?
I don't believe so. I think it either adds
to hand or summons from deck?
Yeah. I think it takes the card from the deck and either puts it in your hand or puts it onto the field.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to have to get
He's
Assault into the graveyard to summon it from the hand.
Yeah, or he can also... There's other ways you can do it, too, like with Firewall Dragon, or you discard it for one part of the combo and then bring it back with a mission. But it's sort of hard to do. So we'll see exactly how he wants to navigate this after drawing the master plan.
And he's got Foolish Burial Goods.
Yeah.
All right, so Quick Fix resolves. Gets him a gear. And then Foolish Burial Goods resolves. The gear was Drone. And Goods is going to send a mission.
Yep.
It is Mission Assault. Mission Assault can be banished from the graveyard to special summon a Spiral from your hand. And he puts Drone onto the field. Drone lets Rodolfo, and only Rodolfo, look at the top 3 cards of his opponent's deck and then rearrange them. Oh, it's a monster, spell, and a trap.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often.
Looks like he's going to arrange it the monster first, then put double summon in between and leave the trap there last. And then at resolution, Daniel's going to hit Rodolfo with Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries.
That's rough.
That's very rough.
And he loses how many copies? 1, 2. Only 2. All right, let's see where he goes from here. 2 level 1 monsters on the board, both machines.
Yeah, Daniel making sure to look through the rest of Rodolfo's extra deck so that if he draws another copy of Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries, he knows what to call, maybe.
Assuming that he's got it. He knows he has an Ngirsu, which means he's probably playing the combo with Eve. Oh, he doesn't have Scapegoat. It's a little more difficult. Proxy Dragon is the link summon.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Proxy Dragon is actually one of the most misunderstood link monsters, as opposed to what its effect actually
Oh,
does.
yeah, I understand. Yeah, because let's just bring it up.
Because it protects anything on your field.
Yeah, by sending the cards that it points to the graveyard.
By destroying one of the cards it points
By
to.
destroying. I didn't even realize it destroys it.
Yeah,
I thought it
destroys it.
sends it.
That's why you can't use it against a lot of stuff, like Darkhold, for example. 'Cause everything's being destroyed all at once, and you can't substitute the destruction of something that's already being destroyed. Which is different from the Holly Angel scenario last time, where something that can't be destroyed isn't, even if the thing destroying it would be destroyed at the same time. That's Yu-Gi-Oh! Caspar gets hit by Ash Blossom this time after Desperado. Actually, no, it's Ghost Ogre. Desperado took out a card. But he still gets to search for a Magical Musket. Got another Caspar in hand. Pretty good. It's not surprising that it's taking a little longer with the searches, just because this is such a new deck.
Yeah.
Duelists have had, what, 2 days to play at an actual competition
Yeah,
so far?
Yeah, if even that, right? It's the 18th or 19th today. Didn't Spirit Warriors release the 17th?
Came out on Thursday at official tournament stores.
Okay, yeah, so
Thursday and Friday, and now you're here at YCS with it. that really speaks to the confidence that many duelists have had in this deck. Well, there is a lot of searching, and it is difficult to know the right card to get each time.
Yep. Rudolph's going to go for spell. Oh, he misses.
Ooh, it's a monster.
Now, Rodolfo's hand looking much weaker now. Last Resort, Master Plan, and Super Agent left over.
Summons the agent. Let's see if he equips it.
Looks like he's just going to go battle. He's considering a Link summon.
Yeah, the Proxy Dragon isn't really doing him a whole lot of good in that extra monster zone.
Yeah, definitely not.
It can't point at anything.
Yeah, so he's actually just locked out still. He'll have to use it as a material if he wants to do anything.
Well, we know he has Gaia. He's also got Decode Talker. Oh, he's going to go with the equip. And he appears to have attacked directly with both.
One card now? One card.
Now Ramirez is up.
He's just 19. He just can't be targeted for artifacts,
So Last Resort, it is a monster that you can equip it from your hand or field. Turns into an equip card, and the monster that it is equipped to cannot be targeted by card effects and can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. Works on any Spiral monster. There are a lot of the cards in there, especially the gears, that only work specifically with Super Agent. But, you know, it's the Last Resort. You got to take anybody you can get in that power armor. All right, looks like he's got, I believe that's Kid Brave. Kid Brave lets you discard a Magical Musket card to draw 2 cards. Desires is up next.
Okay.
10 banished.
Yep.
Draws 2.
See what he finds. Looks like Max C and is that?
Say another Desires.
I thought you drew Last Stand.
Well, you got a Desires from something. That's definitely the case. You could really use that one copy of Steady Hands, though. The imposing 1900 attack points of Spiral Super Agent are causing some issues for the 1600 attack Kid Brave. Here's an interesting story. Did you know that Spiral Super Agent nearly had 1600 attack points instead of 1900?
I did not know that.
The trade-off for it was going to be that Spiral Super Agent would destroy Speller Trap no matter how he was summoned.
Oh, man.
So Call of the Haunted, Pendulum Summoning, anything of that would have let him destroy Speller Trap. That was a little too much for him, and in the end he got 300 more points of attack power, but he was only able to destroy things off being summoned by a Spiral card.
All right.
But doesn't, of course, include himself, which is generally the best way to summon him.
Another copy of Pot His Eyes. Man, both games just banishing 20 cards. I feel like he almost worked himself into a poor position last game because of that. So I'm interested as to why he wanted to play the second copy, because it already seemed like he was ahead. But I guess a lot of his cards were just reactive cards and not anything that could deal with the...
Yeah, he's looking for, like, the Desperados, right? Just to destroy
I guess, yeah.
Or make your guy 0. Or something like that.
I think he's looking for monsters, like more Magical Musketeers, because he already has like Last Stand and a few other things, right? So like worst case scenario, he draws another monster. He can trade with the Kid Brave, right? Crash into the Super Agent, and then Super Agent is 1900. See, you're confusing me right now, Jerome, making me think now suddenly the Super Agent is 1600. I can crash with Kid Brave.
It's so real, you can feel it.
Oh yeah,
it was real for about a month. And he's got Starfire to the field, and Starfire summons Doc from the field, and Doc can get cards back from the graveyard.
Gonna go ahead and activate. Guess his monster.
He is correct.
Daniel responds with Maxi. So he gets to draw that monster that was revealed.
So he's got the second winter cherries here.
Yep.
And what's the condition on it? Same or more monsters?
I believe it's more. Your opponent has to have more than you.
Minus 600.
Loses both of his monsters to the super agents. And now
Revealed
he uses it.
Babushka.
Taking out Baguska.
Yeah. A little.
He's at 38. I'm at 78.
A terribly tired Tapir. We'll have to wait to awaken another day.
It's kind of amazing that after all those searches and draws, Ramirez didn't have any of his cards that could interact during battle.
Yeah.
Looks like he's in quite severe trouble, actually. It'd actually be pretty amazing for Rodolfo if he can pull this one out after losing
Yeah, double helix on the first turn, right?
and drawing master plan. Takes 19. He can't take another hit from Super Agent. Oh, and Daniel picks up Droll and Lockbird. That's not going to do it. And Rodolfo. Okay, so is that classified as stealing one?
Or eking, or whatever word
Eking
I
the
use.
one, or
Yeah,
whichever
yeah,
one-
that
whichever
definitely
word you
felt
wrote.
like some definite ekage. 6 out of 10 on the eek scale.
Really? Just 6?
Are you okay? Okay, maybe a 7
at
or
least a
8.
7.
Yeah.
At least a 7.
Yeah. All right, let's look at the side decks one more time. So now Rodolfo will be going second. So he can bring in maybe Twin Twisters. And Twin Twister actually does not seem very good against that deck at all. Nope. Twin Twister doesn't seem that good. Raigeki and Dark Hole, maybe.
Raigeki and Dark Hole are all right.
You get to clear the monsters so they don't continue getting triggers and things like that.
Yeah, the thing with Fiendish Deal is that they only play one of it.
Okay.
And if they don't actively search it out and put it onto the field early, you have this period of time where you just get them with Raigeki and Dark Hole. And they might just never draw another monster. And that's really the key here, is if you can get the monster off the field, the deck doesn't do anything because none of the cards can be played. He's still playing, he's not even playing a full 12 of monsters, a full 12 Magical Musketeers. He's only got 11. 2 Docks, 3 Kid Brave, Casper, Starfire. Very interesting. No Calamity, which really boggles my mind because one of the ways you beat this deck is by killing all the monsters.
Yeah.
So if you have one monster that you can bring out and turn it into another monster instead of just Starfire, it seems good to me. I'd probably play at least one copy of Calamity, even if I'm not trying any of the tricky combo stuff. But on his side, well, he's going first now. I could put in Imperial Order.
That doesn't seem that bad.
Rivalry of Warlords, because there's a mismatch between Warriors, Spellcaster, and Machine.
Maybe.
Spiral
Yeah,
deck.
also not the worst.
All his cards are Fiends, though, so it doesn't matter. Other than that, he's going first, so I'm not really expecting evenly matched here.
Yeah, I think he might just slim on some of the hand traps and put in just real traps, like we were talking about before.
Traps.
Yeah, you're just basically upgrading your card quality, right, and like not taking away what your core strategy is trying to do.
All right, well, whatever he's done, he has made his decision. Rodolfo's still working on it. Going second. I think it's just evenly matched Raigeki Dark Hole. So the rest of these are Solemns, which you might never get a chance to play. And Ghost Reaper, which is not useful.
I don't know. Maybe
Torrential
you
could
just
be
do
good.
put in the solemn cards though, like going second, because how good are all these hand traps against Magical Musketeers? Right, like maybe you just let them do their thing turn 1, and then you set your trap cards turn 2. You know, like try to clear their monster, set some trap cards, and just try to interact. Like Solemn striking one of their monsters when it triggers doesn't seem that bad, because every game we've seen, right, like Daniel has just been low on monsters, and I think any strike probably would have cut him off. So I actually think Solemn Strike is probably great against the Musketeer deck, and just because we're so focused on these, you know, turn 1s, oh, we need our hand traps going second, like. Maybe this just isn't that strategy, but that could be why Magical Musketeers is such a good pick for this weekend, because it's just better against these hand traps than the other decks.
That's true. You got to watch out, though, still for the Fiendish Deal. You'd still be able to negate the effects, but the monster would live.
Okay.
And that would be really unpleasant. But again, that's just, you know, a card they play one of.
Yeah.
And if that changes after this weekend, if the Magical Musketeer players find that they just keep getting blasted by all of these removal cards, we'll see.
Damn. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. As long as they see me, that's all. They'll see you. I'll go first. Good luck, bro. Good luck.
All right, looks like we're going to start things
Now
off.
ready to go. Oh, there's a nice little bit of balance. You got monsters, spell, and trap.
Yeah, and there's Rivalry. But it doesn't look like there is any like starter spell or trap, right, to get his guys going.
Not on his own turn. He's got, looks like he's got Starfire, though.
As soon as we get that hand updated, we'll bring it up.
Yeah, he's got to be careful where he plays his cards here.
Oh, because the continuous cards,
He's going to lose one zone to the Rivalry of Warlords, but he also probably wants to set something like the Cosmic Cyclone.
Like right behind it.
In whatever zone he's going to summon the monster off Starfire to. Oh, he's got Fiendish Deal in his hand. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Let's see when he activates the Fiendish Deal.
What is that spell card?
I just had a video up about how
that
happy I was that Konami's live chat was open. I was very...
The deal.
And that lets Starfire summon. And now he's going to grab Caspar. And the trick is to make sure you put Caspar in the same column as a card you're going to play.
A Cosmic Cyclone. I don't. Oh, I think it's right behind
Rivalry.
Rivalry. Oh, so
of
he's going to
Warlords,
trigger
so he
like this.
guarantees it.
How do you feel about doing that preemptively?
You know, I'm not a fan on the Rivalry part.
Yeah,
I would want them to commit their cards to the field first.
Yeah,
and
right. You gain your advantage off of it. Because this way now, if Rodolfo just has an answer to the Rivalry of Warlords, right? Like he still has all of his cards that he maybe would have lost a couple of. His play would have gotten disrupted, right? Whereas now this isn't disruption, this is prevention.
Oh, it looks like he's drawn the master plan again.
Yeah, and it looks like he drew the assault mission.
Oh, he had a Ghost Ogre. Yeah, he could use that on Starfire. I don't know
Would
how
that
much it
be
would
good
help.
Because he would last deals, right? So does it even? It wouldn't do anything. Or Fiendish Deal.
Oh, that's right. That was the activated card. Was the Fiendish Deal?
Yeah.
That couldn't do it then.
Yes, Ghost Ogre just wouldn't have done much of anything. And this is aggressive too.
Pay 1,000, take out.
Utility Wire.
And now he's going to discard to draw 2. Yeah, it is definitively thinking time here.
And then I'm going to attempt to activate it, and you guys tell me if this is right. Let's see if it revolves.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Play and then activate.
activates Ties of the Brethren on Kid Brave.
Pay 2,000.
Kid Brave is level 3.
We haven't seen Ties of the Brethren in quite a while.
No.
Right? Like, I think the last time I saw it was when we saw, oh, what event was it? Was it maybe YCS Minneapolis or something? Aaron Furman made the top 4 with a Ties of the Brethren Magispector deck. I feel like that was the last time we really saw Ties of the Brethren do
So what
have a big tournament impact. But
what he's trying to do here is summon a monster to the zone where he summoned a monster to.
that would be much more powerful than
So you won't be able to activate. Okay. I wasn't sure. That's why, like.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
yeah.
It's not happening. It's clever. It's a really good idea, but that's not quite how it works.
Yeah.
That's why, like.
And with
Yeah,
5 monsters out,
not-
Rodolfo's
Yeah.
Raigeki would look great right now, but
It's clever. It's a really good idea, but that's not
the Fiendish
quite how
Deal
it works.
is still out there. And with 5
that's-
monsters out,
So Ties
Raigeki
of the
would
Brethren.
look great right now.
That prevents, what, special summoning for the rest of the turn and no battle phase or no battle damage? I get it mixed up with Card of Demise a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Let's figure that out really quick. Yeah, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn. You cannot conduct your battle.
Look what I
phase with no
found.
cards activated.
Links to be below. This is not mine, but I found it was sent to me. You're welcome.
But yeah, this still looks like more than enough for Daniel to take things back the following turn.
Foolish Burial Goods activates in the same column as Starfire, which is smart because he has no more space to summon monsters.
Yep.
Okay, he sends Spiral Mission Rescue to the graveyard. Take all of his deck. On his side, well, he's going first now. I could put in Imperial Order.
That doesn't seem that bad.
Rivalry of Warlords, because there's a mismatch between Warriors, Spellcaster, and Machine.
Maybe.
Spiral
Yeah,
deck.
also not the worst.
All his cards are Fiends, though, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Other than that, he's going first, so I'm not really expecting evenly matched here.
Yeah, I think he might just slim on some of the hand traps and put in just real traps, like we were talking about
Real
before.
traps.
Yeah, you're just basically upgrading your card quality, right, and like not taking away what your core strategy is trying to do.
All right, well, whatever he's done, he has made his decisions. Rodolfo's still working on it. Going second. I think it's just evenly matched Raigeki Darkhole. So the rest of these are Solemns, which you might never get a chance to play. And Ghost Reaper, which is not useful.
I don't know. Maybe you
Torrential
just
could be
do
good.
put in the solemn cards though, like going second, because how good are all these hand traps against Magical Musketeers? Right, like maybe you just let them do their thing turn 1, and then you set your trap cards turn 2. You know, like try to clear their monster, set some
Yeah.
trap cards, and just try to interact. Like Solemn striking one of their monsters when it triggers doesn't seem that bad, because every game we've seen, right, like Daniel has just been low on monsters, and I think
that's
any
true.
strike probably would have cut him off. So I actually think Solemn Strike is probably great against the Musketeer deck, and just because we're so focused on these, you know, turn 1s, oh, we need our hand traps going second, like Maybe this just isn't that strategy, but that could be why Magical Musketeers is such a good pick for this weekend. Because it's just better against these hand traps than the other decks.
That's true. You got to watch out, though, still for the Fiendish Deal. You'd still be able to negate the effects, but the monster would live.
Okay.
And that would be really unpleasant. But again, that's just, you know, a card they play one of.
Yeah.
And if that changes after this weekend, if the Magical Musketeer players find that they just keep getting blasted by all of these removal cards, we'll see.
Damn. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. As long as they see me, that's all. I'll go first. Good luck, bro. Good luck.
All right, looks like we're going to start
Now
things off.
Ready to go. Oh, there's a nice little bit of balance. You got monsters, spell, and trap.
Yeah, and there's Rivalry. But it doesn't look like there is any like starter spell or trap, right, to get his guys going.
Not on his own turn. He's got, looks like he's got Starfire, though.
As soon as we get that hand updated, we'll bring it up.
Yeah, he's got to be careful where he plays his cards here.
Oh, because of the continuous cards?
Yeah, he's going to lose one zone to the Rivalry of Warlords, but he also probably wants to set something like the Cosmic Cyclone.
Like right behind it.
In whatever zone he's going to summon the monster off Starfire to. Oh, he's got Fiendish Deal in his hand. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Let's see when he activates the Fiendish Deal.
What is that spell card? Is that Twin Twister? Or maybe not. Oh, there's the deal.
And that lets Starfire summon. And now he's going to grab Caspar. And the trick is to make sure you put Caspar in the same column as a card you're going to play.
A Cosmic Cyclone. I don't. Oh, I think it's right behind
Rivalry.
Rivalry. Oh, so he's going to trigger like this.
It.
How do you feel about doing that preemptively?
You know, I'm not a fan on the Rivalry part.
Yeah,
I would want them to commit their cards to the field first.
Yeah,
and
right. You gain your advantage off of it. Because this way now, if Rodolfo just has an answer to the Rivalry of Warlords, right? Like he still has all of his cards that he maybe would have lost a couple of. His play would have gotten disrupted, right? Whereas now this isn't disruption, this is prevention.
Oh, it looks like he's drawn the Master Plan again.
Yeah, and it looks like he drew the Assault Mission.
Oh, he had a Ghost Ogre. Yeah, he could use that on Starfire. I don't know
Would
how
that
much
be
it would
good
help.
Because he last deals, right? So does it even, it wouldn't do anything. Or Fiendish Deal?
Oh, that's right. That was the activated card. Was the Fiendish Deal.
Yeah.
That couldn't do it
Yes, Ghost Ogre just wouldn't have done much of anything. And this is aggressive too.
Pay 1,000, take out.
Utility Wire.
And now he's going to discard to draw 2. Yeah, it is definitively thinking time here.
And then I'm going to attempt to activate it, and he gets so many pieces, right? Let's see if it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Play and then activate.
Activates Ties of the Brethren on Kid Brave.
Pay 2,000.
Kid Brave is level 3.
We haven't seen Ties of the Brethren in quite a while.
No.
Right? Like, I think the last time I saw it was when we saw, what event was it? Was it maybe YCS Minneapolis or something? Aaron Furman made the top 4 with a Ties of the Brethren Magispector deck. I feel like that was the last time we really saw Ties of the Brethren do
So what
have a big tournament impact. But
what he's trying to do here is summon a monster to the zone where he summoned a monster to.
that would be much more powerful than.
So you won't be able to activate. Okay. I wasn't sure. That's why, like.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not happening. It's clever. It's a really good idea, but that's not quite how it works.
Yeah. And with 5 monsters out, Rodolfo's Raigeki would look great right now, but the Fiendish Deal is still out there.
Mm-hmm. So ties with the Brethren. That prevents, what, special summoning for the rest of the turn and no battle phase or no battle damage? I get it mixed up with Card of Demise a lot.
Yeah. Let's figure that out really quick. Yeah, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn the card's activated.
Okay.
But yeah, this still looks like more than enough for Daniel to take things back the following turn.
Foolish Burial Goods activates in the same column as Starfire, which is smart because he has no more space to summon monsters.
Yep.
Okay, he sends Spiral Mission Rescue to the graveyard. That's a card that ends. Did he take Assault out of his deck?
He drew it, remember?
Oh, that's right. He drew it. It's face down. Oh, that's rough.
Stand by main phase.
And now he's got both the Steady Hands and Desperado and Cross Domination. Oh, wow. I got a bad feeling about this for Rodolfo.
Yeah, I mean, 5 monsters plus a rivalry plus cards to play. And a card that just prevents his monsters from being destroyed. Seems like that could be enough to win.
Steady Hands is going to double up Starfire.
I already did, anyways, effect.
Looks like he'll double Starfire and then get the effect of Caspar.
That's not a -1, but you know, we just activate the wrong card sometimes, and it just happens. But it's whatever. You guys have 3 minutes left in the round. Okay, I will hurry up.
Oh, wait, did he just Cross Domination himself?
It looked like it.
Hang on, something went horribly wrong here.
Yeah, he definitely meant to Steady Hands and rather activated Cross Domination.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That is the danger of being this far ahead.
Yeah. The danger of all your spells being so shiny and quick play.
I mean, they're different rarities, though, right? Cross Domination's a secret. Steady Hands
is a super.
Super, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
No, I mean, the good news is, I guess he could still use the Steady Hands.
Oh, I'm going to smart stream now, watch.
Because it would turn it would turn the attack and defense of Starfire to double the original, not double whatever it is right now.
They're like, what's going on? Huh? I targeted my own Starfire? No, but it's smart, because if it's a super attack, I don't want to pop it, right?
And this is, I believe that's DDD Stone King Darius. That's a card we should bring up.
He's at 0. 18?
There he is.
I'll explain to my friends later.
This is an interesting one.
Take battle damage or you don't?
He's at 19. Yeah, I take 18 from this.
Yeah, you
attack.
I see. So it's usually the second effect, right? Like, because he's not using any dark contracts or anything like that.
Right.
Even though it's a Fiendish Deal, it's not quite a dark contract, huh?
It's not
a little less binding.
Quite the same. You don't have to cheat your way out of the Fiendish Deal. You actually just want to keep it, because otherwise you'll explode. As opposed to dark contracts, which constantly make bad things happen to you while they're on the field.
See, my friends are gonna be like, "Why'd you do that?" I'll be like, "I was playing smart. I played out of like that being a super agent. You know, he probably would have flipped it there like that turn, but safety precautions, man. Safety precautions."
Well,
and then 16.
He still manages to get plenty of damage in.
Yep.
Yeah, detach the dock. Pass turn.
Goes back to Rodolfo. Draws a draw on Lockbird.
He takes it. Yeah.
Not great. Well, the Rieki can do something now.
It can
take
destroy
out Stone
one
King
card.
Darius.
Yeah, he took 16. That was only until end of the turn, right? Okay, yeah.
For the following players, Ivan Avila.
And the Rieki is activated in the same column as Starfire.
Yeah.
Last time in the round, so return 0 at that point. Okay.
All right, and time has now run out in the round. So those extra life points could be a bit of a problem for Daniel.
Yeah, definitely. But
Rodolfo
I
could
think he has
stall
enough
out.
monsters where it's going to be very hard for Rodolfo to stall out, right?
Mm-hmm. I kind of wonder why he didn't just put the mission on the field earlier in the game, because it self-destructs after 3 turns, right? Like all good secret missions.
Yeah. And then he maybe would have been able to use it by now.
Yeah.
He triggered because it was like,
No, I'm sorry. Why did your stuff on the show finish?
yeah, finish.
Sets a monster in another spell or trap. And that'll do it. You got to get some attacks in, though.
Yeah.
This one.
Still has steady hands, right?
He does.
Yeah, so he can probably make up some amount of damage.
Steady hands can't attack directly.
Oh, unfortunate.
It's good for clearing out the monsters, especially the beefy defense monsters. C summons again. This time,
Muzzle Rhythm.
Uzu Rhythm, I believe, doubles attack. It's either attacks twice or doubles attack.
This one I think is the one that doubles during damage. Yeah, during the damage step, when a Jin exceeds monster you control is attacking opponent's monster. So it can take it up to 3,000.
It's a little strange, though, because I feel like he's just taking damage off his own board.
It's only a monster.
Yeah, that
I
is.
don't want to be attacked directly. Attack.
How much is it right now?
So
it's going to be 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bear attack or response.
No, that's good. Okay, so flip.
Well, it flips before he would need to activate its effect, right? So.
Correct.
12 and it's 13.
Activates it anyways.
Yeah, 24. To my 32, right? 24 or 34?
34, you're 32.
34.
That's one card face down. He's got Desperado, and does he also have the Last Resort or Last Stand?
Finds terraforming.
He's going to go ahead and flip Imperial Order.
Oh, goodness.
We did indeed side in the Imperial Order.
Yeah, this is probably enough, though.
It should be. If he doesn't have a monster, he'll get it now.
Yep.
It should be 12, 13.
Oh.
Taxes everything.
Yeah,
And
for
it
a
is
second I
enough.
got really scared because I was like, oh, wait, why are you normal summoning? He could have torrential tribute
Yeah,
like you
like,
have
and
it,
then
but then
what
I forgot about
happens?
the deal. The Fiendish deal just still protects everything.
Except Muzu Rhythm.
Yeah.
Muzu Rhythm still would have lost it, but yeah. I was a little scared there.
Yeah, I was
a little scared there. Something was going to go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to YCS San Diego. We are now in round 5. We are halfway through the tournament and more than halfway through day 1.
Indeed.
So one of our programs is the YCS VIP qualifier program, where certain stores around the location can run a tournament, and the winner of that will get VIP status at the YCS, which gives you a 2-round bye and lets you sleep in, turn in your deck list later, It's a really nice deal. But you know who else gets a 2-round buy and VIP treatment at every YCS? It's the Ultimate Duelists. And we have one of those Ultimate Duelists here for you in this round.
Indeed we do. We have not only UDS champion, but also YCS champion and Worlds competitor Aaron Furman this time around.
Yep. And I really like what he's brought with us today. This has been a tournament that has been full of interesting innovations and new strategies, and Furman's got another one for us.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a spiral deck that isn't looking to combo the same way as anything we've seen before. It's not relying on quick fix. It probably doesn't even want quick fix all that often. There's no double summons, no full Spurial Goods to try to cheat an extra guy into play, but there are 3 copies of Spiral Tough. So it's all about going second, trying to beat the board that your opponent made or disrupt them with a hand trap, and then beat the little bit of a board they have and just beat down with, you know, like a Spiral Sleeper and a couple other monsters.
I like what I'm seeing here because I feel like it plays a little more into what the actual themes of Spiral are. Than getting the information off your opponent's deck and then using it to do unpleasant things to them.
Yeah. Sounds like a pretty good time, so I'm excited. On the other side, we have Dario Guzman. It looks like he's playing the Pendulum Magician deck, which is probably the next most popular strategy, you'd say, right? It's the where Spiral is like the powerful, less consistent. This is the consistent, less powerful, right?
So if you haven't been following regionals and that sort of thing for the last month or so, it's kind of gone like this. So from the end of September through most of October, Pendulum Magicians was generally considered the deck to beat. And then Circuit Break hits, and Spiral Double Helix comes out, and suddenly Spiral takes over. Now in November here, we have a new Forbidden Unlimited cards list, which you can find on Yu-Gi-Oh!-card.com, that restricts the power of Spiral a little bit. And so now Pendulum Magician is back into the fray, but then so are 10 other decks that also do all sorts of good things. So many people thought the Pendulum Magician would just kind of take over immediately afterwards, and we haven't seen that materialize. But that doesn't mean it hasn't been making strong showings and doing a great job in competition. So Guzman is running, it's kind of a fairly standard list.
Yeah, all the Pendulum decks are sort of standard, right? Because they just sort of play the best Pendulum cards they can, and they max out on them because, Pendulums are so good. They're spells and monsters, right? So it's a big consistency tool. I
feel like the big difference, though, between this Pendulum Magician deck and most of the ones I've seen is the use of Pendulum Sorcerer. That's not something I really associated with the Pendulum Magician decks that we saw in the months prior. But
good. Still, even without Monkey Board and all this other nonsense, Skullcrack Joker still definitely does its job.
And I also think that he might be using it in there as something to destroy Double Iris Magician on the first turn, since you can't do it on your battle-based effect. The other thing is Wavering Eyes. That's a card that has been
wavering out of popularity. To play 2 copies, right? Because if you get the maximum effect of Wavering Eyes, you get all those searches, right? You get to search another copy. So I guess like in that way, you at least want 2 copies, and then maybe puts in the third for the mirror. So yeah, well, it looks like our players are ready though. So let's get down to it.
All right, we are ready to go.
Yep, and it looks like Guzma might have won the die roll, but at the same time, I know that Aaron Furman is choosing to go second throughout this tournament. So
no matter who wins the die roll, he wins.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy, especially if you want to have a long tournament run.
Yeah, I mean, you just build your deck to go second, right? And that's it. Like, worst case scenario, his opponent wins the die roll, chooses for Furman to go second or first. He might still just have a small Spiral combo. It's not like his Spiral combos aren't great, right? They're just not nearly as crazy as what we've seen the very quick fix reliant combos do.
And they're not as consistent anymore either.
Yeah.
But it looks like Guzman started out pretty strong with Skullcrabat. He's got Wisdom Eye Magician and Black Fang Magician, and has traded Wisdom Eye Magician for a Purple Poison Magician. So that gives him his scales, 1 and 8, and allows him to Pendulum Summon Wisdom Eye Magician to his Extra Monster Zone. A lot of people thought that pendulums were gone once the Extra Monster Zone was introduced, but that was proven to be false in very short order.
Yeah, no, pendulum's still pretty strong. What was that Xyz summon
That's
there?
a Baguska.
Oh, well, that would be great if Furman didn't open with evenly matched in his hand. Now he gets to wipe out plenty of cards. He goes enter battle phase.
He knows what's coming.
Guzman just can't, yeah.
Only one thing's happening.
Furman's reading evenly matched to make sure he's doing all this sequencing right.
Can I really just play this?
Yeah. I just
I'm
say battle
allowed to
phase
do
and I
this?
could just, you just start banishing almost all of your cards? Were you in the match where we saw someone Mystical Space Typhoon, the evenly match?
No, I watched it, though.
Okay, yeah, that was a little unreal.
I see that Guzman's got a Cosmic Cyclone down there.
Yeah,
and hopefully he doesn't
that's
fall
what,
for the
that's what
same
made me
thing.
think. Yep, so he banishes all those cards. Now he's left with the terribly tired Tapir and a Max C.
He's too tired to get banished. He's just going to sit there.
Yeah.
That's an interesting tech choice. I see that Furman's got pseudo space in his hand.
Yeah, so actually I was talking to him about it. He has a set rotation in his deck, so he was looking for a second field spell. Initially he had, I think he went through like the 3 options of like Dragon's Ravine with Destrudo, didn't like it too much. He thought about Secret Village of the Spellcasters for a while because of Ib, and just giving it to your opponent means if they flip, they can't play spells unless they have a Spellcaster, but because he wasn't the super combo heavy version, he didn't want to include Ib. So I think he just chose pseudo space as the next best option.
Guzman gets a couple turns behind Baguska's effect to try to build up some more cards. While Baguska's in defense, everything else has changed to defense, and the effects of monsters that are activated while they're in defense position are negated.
Yeah. Same thing as like when someone yawns, you start yawning, you just see how terribly tired Baguska is.
Exactly. He needs
you
like
get
4
tired
pillows
too. Yeah.
because he's that tired. Interesting note, Link monsters cannot be shifted to defense position, which makes them basically the natural counter to this. Now, Baguska's out of Xyz materials, and that means bad things are going to happen to him soon. If you can't detach a material during your standby phase, Baguska self-destructs.
Or Baguska.
He's woken up now, and he's going to swing for 2100. And while he's in attack position, he cannot be targeted by card effects or destroyed by your opponent's card effects.
Yep.
A very good monster. It's not certain that Guzman has recovered from evenly matched yet.
No, he has a couple of pendulums, it looks like. He has Harmonizing and Purple Poison in his hand along with that Maxi. Furman's been building a hand since turn 1. He drew Spiral Master Plan in his opening hand, which wasn't the best, but the rest of his hand's fine. He has Terraforming, Pseudospace, Foolish Burial, a Super Agent, so...
You know what? That Master Plan has been showing up in a lot of opening hands today.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate.
Let's see what he's going to take here.
I think it might be...
Baguska in attack position is immune to Spiral Tough.
Yeah, I think he might be getting Drone, is his plan. Just make sure he can special summon that Super Agent from his hand. I guess Tough does the same thing, but I don't think he can activate Tough, actually, can he?
Not without a target.
Yeah.
And I do believe it only targets your opponent's cards. And he does get Spiral Tough. He does, in fact, summon it.
Call monsters. Already does. Spell.
That does not seem right to me. This attack position card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot target this attack position card with card effects. And that's not while it has Xyz material either. The Xyz material part is just for determining whether or not he lives.
Yeah, it looks like Guzman doesn't necessarily know how his own terribly tired Tapir works either.
We had this with Holly Angel. In
Yeah,
both
earlier.
of the matches she showed up as well. Both players did not realize that she protects their cards from being destroyed.
Yeah. Luckily, it didn't affect too much, because if he would have searched Drone, it would have been effectively the same thing, I think, because he's probably going to overlay right now for, or I mean, not overlay, but Link Summon. But you're right that this is not the first time we've seen a misstep like this. Oh, he's going to summon his own Baguska. Is that what's going to happen here?
It's bizarre. Not entirely certain what that accomplishes other than giving Guzman more time to draw cards. He'd also lose his Spiral Resort in that case. He's going to do anyway. Now Baguska's going to self-destruct.
Yep.
As cannot detach material. And Baguska is too tired to be destroyed, apparently. Wisdom Eye Magician is destroyed by Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
There we go. That was corrected.
Picked up. There we go. And that leaves Guzman with Purple Poison Magician, Harmonizing Magician, and another Cosmic Cyclone.
And now Furman can do what his deck does best, just beat down.
Guesses monster. It's a spell.
What was it? Pot Desires.
Is Pot Desires. And now he's going to Link Summon.
Yeah.
There's the Helix. He knows it's a spell now, so it's not really a guess. It's interesting, he could get a Super Agent here and still blow up the back row if he wants.
Interesting. I think he's going to try, yeah, Quick Fix.
Get a Quick Fix. Quick Fix then gets Drone.
Yep. Hasn't used his normal summon yet.
Ah, indeed. And he does have that pseudo space to mimic Spiral Resort for a turn.
Yep.
And it looks like that's what's going to happen here. Pseudo Space is one of those World Premiere cards from a long, long time ago. I
Yeah,
believe it was
very
from
long time ago.
Ancient Prophecy, back when
It is.
field spells weren't so good. Combination of field spells not being quite as powerful as they are these days, but also, back in that time, the field spell rules were different. Only one field spell was allowed on the field at the same time. So even if you had a super powerful field spell like Necro Valley, all your opponent had to do was side in a field spell of their own. And they could stop you from using it.
Loud sigh over from Furman because there's 2 copies of Pot of Desires on the top for Guzman. He's going to leave both.
Seems a lot better than giving him another Pendulum.
Yeah.
The third card, I think, was Harmonizing Magician. And that's one way things could go south.
Yeah, I think Furman actually has Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, so he can answer the first Desires if he'd like to, but then... Oh, I guess the second one gets banished, right? Because he'll still have to banish the top 10 cards, yeah.
See summons for Sylvan Princess Sprite. I don't think I've received personal requests to have that card released, or any card released.
More
than Sylvan Princess Sprite.
It's a cool one.
And a lot of them are coming from inside the office as well.
Oh, man.
Sylvan Princess Sprite, you can attach to Excavate your top card. If it's a spell or trap, add it to your hand. If not, send it to the graveyard. It's fantastic if you actually play it in Sylvans, but it's also really good in decks like this as well.
Yeah. I think its key use in the more combo-heavy variant of Spirals is to, after you've special summoned back a Quick Fix via its own effect, you use it as an Xyz material, right, so it doesn't banish itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spiral Master Plan is summoned in defense mode by Big Red. Big Red, kind of like Premature Burial, special summons a monster from your graveyard and equips to it. But unlike Premature Burial, it's a good thing that Big Red sticks around. You can't take out the monster by destroying it, and you definitely can't take out the monster by battle because Big Red prevents it. I don't know, though. I think if I were a super spy, I wouldn't name my car Big Red. And now we've got a Link Summon.
Yep.
Ebe is up next. Dark Spellcaster and Wind Plant. Sorry, Light Plant. Do not match, so Ebe is allowed here.
Yep. Let's Furman add Spiral Sleeper and Spiral Resort. And activate the Resort to get another search. Find Spiral Super Agent.
Don't believe he's used a special summon effect of Super Agent yet.
Nope, not yet. Is this just game, actually?
Looks
close to it.
19, 18, 28.
With Super Agent, it has to be.
Last Resort.
Or did he already go to his battle phase to do something? Or oh, no, he used the effect of Sleeper to destroy his own... Oh, no, it was Last Resort, I guess, right? He uses Last Resort to send his mission to the graveyard, so the Sleeper can attack directly.
Yeah. So we're at 28, 19, 18, 19, and the drone wouldn't really do anything other than add a couple 100 attack points. His opponent doesn't have any cards on the field anymore. And that'll do it. Guzman has seen enough. And Aaron Furman has taken the first game.
Yeah, one big reason that pendulums have been kept in check since circuit break is evenly matched.
Yes.
Definitely levels the playing field.
Yeah, I mean, the Pendulum Magician deck has one of the best trap cards in the game. Time Pendulum Graph is incredibly
Unreal.
powerful by any metric. But everybody else has evenly matched.
Yeah.
And you can't really play it yourself.
Yeah. Do you think that there's some way to build the pendulum deck to just sort of answer that? Like include, like, for example, we saw artifacts for a while, right? Artifacts just as something to go first, but one reason why it's so good is it can answer evenly matched because you can get artifact Lancia or something, right? Or maybe it just main decks Lancia, whatever. Do you think that's something we could see pendulum do it, or do you think it hits the consistency, which is like the big draw to the deck?
Well, I'm trying to think right now if there's anything, if there are any silver bullet cards essentially other than the artifacts.
That
something that you can slot into block evenly matched. And all of my ideas aren't exactly the most competitive.
Yeah, I would think that if there's something that can somehow negate like a spell or trap, right? Like that's ideal, especially one that would just like, so you have, first thing that comes to my mind is like, okay, like Dark Bribe, right? Or like Wiretap, something like this. But maybe there's one where it's more like a Dark Bribe where it can stop spell and traps, but its requirement is like, oh, I have pendulums. Is there any pendulum-themed counter trap that would help it out, or a pendulum-themed card that would somehow?
I mean, you'd probably have to do something like main deck Scoldings.
Solemn, you know, I am a fan of that one. I actually love Solemn Scolding. I could easily see that being the answer. He also side decks 3,
yeah,
so that's probably why they bring them in. Yeah, no, that actually just makes perfect sense. That Solemn Scolding is just the way to beat that card, and then they probably don't expect a game 1 actually, which is why they don't main deck it, and then they figure game 2 and 3. But a lot of people, I think, are on main deck evenly matched this weekend. Just it's so good going second.
I'm seeing so much more of it than. So, like, the last 2 weeks of results essentially have yielded no main deck evenly matched. And now we're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what my first thought was what's something, maybe it's dark and it blocks. Oh, Jinzo. Finally here, Jinzo. We're just going to pendulum summon Jinzo. That'll do it.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it turns off time pendulum graph, so it's definitely a non-starter.
Yeah.
But that was my immediate thought. Yeah, Jinzo. Finally here.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, I actually really like the decks from this weekend. I've seen a lot of really cool and exciting ones. The one deck that I haven't seen more of, which I would actually like to see, is True Draco. I think True Draco is still a fine deck because it's so good against hand traps, and it's one of those decks that's good going second. But obviously, like with the hits from the FNL, it's a little hard because like it operates in the same axis kind of as this like going second spiral deck does, right? Like it tries like, oh, just do your thing. I'm going to try to just blow up a couple of your cards and then win with my board.
I was honestly expecting that somebody would have come up with the True King 6 Samurai deck.
Oh, yeah, you were showing me that back in the office. It's like a dinosaur deck.
Yeah, there's a gap where the dinosaur deck used to be.
Yeah.
And the 6 Samurai deck with Dragonic Diagram and True King Mariamne does very much the same thing, except it can back it up with Shien from time to time.
Yeah.
Or just have double Shien or something crazy like that.
Yeah, no, I remember your basic combo was just... was it Secret 6 Samurai Fuma plus Dragonic Diagram, right?
Diagram and Fuma.
You get to summon Trishula and then make a rank 9, which is so strong. And then you were saying if you add Dojo to the mix, you get some other crazy thing, and I'm sure it goes even further from there.
What it'll do will expand in the future, but you'll see more of that in the months to come.
Awesome.
And it looks like our players have finished their side decking. They're drawn for game 2.
And this time, Guzman does have the Solemn Scolding for Furman's evenly matched. It looks like he's just going to set Solemn Scolding past his double Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, Wisdom Eye Magician, and Perform Power Pendulum Sorcerer. If Furman chooses to activate that 1-for-1, he can get hit pretty hard by that Ash Blossom. It's pretty unfortunate. But he drew Gofu, so I think step 1 is Gofu.
Yes.
Oh, this is great, too. He gets a check for Ash Blossom and Joy Spring to make it worse against his 1-for-1.
I like that.
Sweet. Yeah, that's really heads up. And now he can probably Gofu into Ningirsu to deal with the back row. And so then his 1-for-1 is just completely free.
If he Scoldings, then Girsu. I confirm and just win through that now that Ash Blossom's out of the picture?
Oh, for sure. He has 1-for-1.
1-for-1
is the most powerful card in the Spiral deck, right? Because it does quick fix double summon. Right?
Without quick fix or double summon.
Exactly, yes. Oh, it looks like he's going to 1-for-1 Now, he might. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Okay.
That's going to eat the scolding.
It's probably because, like, if he Ningirsus, right, he doesn't think that he's just going to Ningirsu and then attack for game. He's probably reading that the trap card might be something different, right? Or, like, you know, it could be like an artifact. I don't know. He doesn't know what it necessarily is. So maybe he was just hoping to go as wide as possible and just produce as many things and then just play through the trap like that. But
I do wonder what he's going to go ahead and make here, though. I don't know how good Ningirsu is.
yeah, one card in his hand, Magical Spring.
Borreload Dragon seems good if he can get another monster. Borreload Dragon's pretty much always good, though.
How do you feel about this as a side deck card against Pendulum?
Against this particular Pendulum deck, because it's so based on destroying its own cards and doing stuff, I like it.
Yeah.
This was a very old school thing.
Yeah.
Like right when the Perform Age craze started, this was touted as one of the answers to it. Of course, that deck was far too powerful to be stopped by anything like this, but it was raised as a possible answer.
Yeah, no, I definitely haven't seen this card in a while, so that's pretty cool.
Starts with Link Spider. And next he goes Link 2 for Proxy Dragon. That's 2,600 points of attack. Now he combines them for Ningirsu.
Every card? Yeah.
So he's going to lose out on 100 points of damage in that exchange.
Yeah.
Where's Proxy Dragon 14? I thought. Oh no, Binary Sorceress is 16.
I think Proxy
Dragon's 14.
For whatever reason, I always thought Proxy Dragon was 1,000. It's 1,400?
Link Spider's 1,000.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah, Link Spider's 1,000, Proxy's 14. Binary Sorceress is 16. So now he's got Ningirsu on the field.
Oh no, he gets he gets 100 attack out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It also cuts Guzman's life points neatly in half. And did he have any Spiral monsters? What did he return for Spiral Resort?
Did
he return anything?
I think the monster he discarded for 1/1.
Oh, the Ghost Ogre. That's right.
2 cards in hand? Correct.
All right, so he swapped his Wisdom Eye for Purple Poison. And did he have a Harmonizing Magician in hand? No, he had Pendulum Sorcerer.
Yeah, it's Pendulum Sorcerer, and his last card's Ash Blossom.
All right, destroys one. He only has one Perform Pal, and that is Joker.
Face-up card? Yeah, any face-up card.
It's interesting that he didn't set Magical Spring.
Yeah, I also found that interesting. I thought he was going to set it. But maybe his plan is to evenly match his opponent? I don't know.
Is that his last card in hand?
His evenly match and Magical Spring as his last 2.
But he's got Spiral Resort on the field.
Yeah, so evenly match is a lot worse.
He can't activate it.
Oh, because you have to control no cards? Oh, that's interesting.
So I was wondering if he had sent something back to the deck with Resort.
Looking for the following players: Miguel Vasquez and
Normal summons Perform Pal Skullcrobat Joker.
main event stage.
And it looks like he's going to grab another Wisdom Eye.
Zachary Sipser and Kyle Fussell, please come to the main event stage.
Doing some quick math, he's both normal summoned and pendulum summoned this turn. Herman's at 8,000 life points. And he takes Purple Poison Magician. It is really hard to go wrong with Purple Poison Magician. That's a very strong card. Activates it in his second Pendulum Zone. And goes for 15. Another 15.
Attack. I'm thinking about
And at least 18. Purple Poison Magician, interestingly enough, doesn't require that your monster is battling another monster.
I'm gonna
It goes ahead and activates it. Is he going to destroy the resort with that and then get hit with evenly matched?
Oh
my
man.
goodness, he is.
Oh, what?
And then Furman does not use the evenly matched.
I think he's just maybe tunnel vision too. I use this during my turn. I go stand by main phase, battle phase. Yeah, that's actually really bad because now he gets to keep the Baguska. Oh man.
And it actually, the monster he discarded for. Oh no, he sent the Gofu back, not the Ghost Ogre. Wow.
Yeah, it looked like Furman had all the pieces to win this duel, but it just did not go the right way.
Not playing the evenly match there was...
Yeah.
That's probably going to be his undoing in this one. Because Baguska right now is stopping him from doing anything.
Yeah.
Or otherwise he had quick fix to at least try to do something.
Yeah, I think Furman might realize his error right now. That's a pretty heavy sigh.
Not setting the magical spring was pretty rough as well.
Yeah. And just not the initial thing, too. He could have just Ningirsu'd away the back row and then gone for one, but obviously that's a little bit different, right? Because you're trying to read what the back row is and playing accordingly, but these other two were like on-field things that he could have done.
Sets monster. One thing that he can be pretty sure of, though, is that Baguska's likely to stay in defense.
Yeah.
I don't really see Guzman going on the attack with it, though. If he had enough monsters, he might. Oh, he's going to go for it.
Now he can... Oh, no, he needs a Spiral Super Agent. Never mind. I was going to say he could just discard to bring back Quick Fix, but depending on what he draws for turn. Let's see it. It's Magical Spring and...
Looked like he picked up the Gofu.
Gofu. Oh,
back.
Man.
Well, that's not a bad one.
No, but he already used a bunch of resources, right? He already used the Link Spider and the Ningirsu.
Yeah, he's only got one of each. Proxy Dragon he used as well. He would have to go for
I don't think
Gaia
he's used
Saber.
Proxy. Oh, he used Proxy Dragon? Oh, I guess he did.
Yeah, he used Spider into Proxy Dragon, so I think he has to go for Gaia Saber here. Yeah, it's the second time we've seen Gaia Saber.
Yeah.
After not seeing him at all in the first few months of the Link Monster mechanic existing, Gaia Saber has been shown up a lot more just because it can be made with anything.
Yeah. He's part of one of the bigger spiral combos too, because they need specifically a monster this generic that can point down. It's the card that they summoned before Firewall Dragon, at the top of their triple co-link with Trigate Wizard.
Well, Gaia Saber the Lightning Shadow evens the score at 2,000. And Guzman drops it to 1,000 to take out a back row, but he's only got one card in hand, and that's Ash Blossom.
Yeah.
What's he going to do to get out of this one?
Draws Scolding. That's not going to help him now. He has to just set Ash Blossom, set Scolding, or he just concedes instead.
He doesn't try. Ooh. He did, in fact, concede.
even the first thing Furman says is like, oh, I guess you could have stalled for a turn, but...
I shouldn't put this in attack mode.
Yeah, that was...
Points out. Yeah, I thought that was a little aggressive without something to actually...
Yeah, I thought he was just going to wait, like, hope one more turn, right, I draw a monster, because that deck doesn't have that many monsters, Spiral deck.
Well, it doesn't have any defense monsters either.
Yeah.
So with Furman at 2,000, like any of the basic magicians, you could just throw that down. Or rather, switch Baguska first, then throw your random magician down and have it attack the face down, and have Baguska get through for the rest.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense game. We saw some interesting decisions be made that definitely changed what would happen over and over. So a lot of good play interaction, I think, on both sides.
A lot of improvisation, really, because nothing really went as expected for either of the duelists in that one. And the way that they recovered from it, it was good to watch. It's nice to see thinking on your feet, because a lot of times some of these decks with a lot of combos, it can be tempting to just try to memorize your plays and always do the same thing all the time no matter what, but you really do need to be able to think on your feet.
Indeed. How do you feel about this Spiral deck now compared to the Double Summon Foolish Burial Goods version?
I've always liked playing Spiral Tough.
Okay.
I like Spiral Tough a lot. I'm not really a fan of the 40-step combo versions. Like, I know it's really powerful and could possibly be the strongest thing you could do.
Yeah.
But if I have to go to a tournament environment where I actually have to play my match within 40 minutes and maybe not everybody knows what all the cards do.
Yeah, you're sort of beating yourself in some ways, right? Yeah, you're putting yourself in a position where you might run out of time because of your combo.
And not only might I run out of time, when you have to stop and start that many times in the middle of the combo, it increases the chances that you're going to, for example, forget where you are and make a mistake and possibly lose that way.
I understand what you're saying.
So for me, I've never been one to play those heavy combo decks.
Yeah.
I would much rather play something like Furman's deck here that plays, beat down, removal, defense. It's all very classic Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that he has going on here. I like it a lot. Also thought it was interesting that he was still playing set rotation. After it was limited, I thought it'd just be gone completely. That there wouldn't be any more set rotation.
I'm pretty sure that ended up being his 38th, 39th cards, cards like that, because what he was talking to me about before was that he wants his deck as consistent as possible.
Yeah.
That's why he's trying to play more tough, more spiral monsters, just more spiral cards. And set rotation is just sort of like the fourth terraforming, right?
Right.
Yeah. And like pseudo space, if you draw another spiral resort, even if they disrupt you, right, you can play it again, keep going. So, yep. Well, that was all we have for round 5 of...
Yeah, round 5 of 8.
Yeah, wow. Round 5 of YCS San Diego. 3 more rounds to go. We'll be back.
I think we're going to have a chat with...
Indeed, yeah. We'll be
Furman?
back with an interview with Aaron Furman, so make sure to stay tuned.
Don't go away.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Spirit Warriors! The 6 Samurai return with brand new cards. Plus, new themes ride in from the Wild West and rain down from the sky. Yu-Gi-Oh! Spirit Warriors! 5 cards per pack, each pack sold separately.
Welcome to round 1. It's time to duel!
And the tournament atmosphere is always awesome. It just feels very premier, feels pretty prestigious.
A lot of the fun aspects about a YCS is just the fact that you can meet everyone around the country.
It's a really chill environment because most people here are friendly. So like you're always leaving with a new experience and new friends.
They do have a lot of fun side events. I see the Yu-Gi-Oh! Day ones, the people over there have a blast. If there's cool token pictures, I have a bunch of token pictures. There's just a bunch of fun stuff to do outside of the main event.
My favorite thing about this event was seeing the different people. It's really cool to like just take a weekend off from where you're already staying to meet with your friends that you haven't seen in a while, or to meet new people.
Oh yeah, I definitely had fun at this event. I've definitely come back to like another YCS here.
The game is definitely just so fun. Even after 14 years, I still have a blast playing. I made so many friends over the years traveling all around the country playing in YCSs and all the tournaments they have, and I've made my lifelong friends from this game, and I put my life into it and I love it.
3. And if you were just enjoying our round 1 replay and you're wondering how it turned out, stay tuned right after this match because we're going to get back to the end of that game as well. So I'm back for this round. Robbie's off for the moment, but I'm here with Denny, who's...
How are you, Jerome?
This is your first time around behind the coverage desk. How's it treating you so far?
It's pretty good. You know, I really enjoyed the atmosphere here. Like, we had some great matches so far. You know, I'm looking forward to a great day of dueling.
How is it different from playing in one of these events?
It's my first time not playing at an event, and, you know, it's just kind of, it's really cool to just see, like, some insight on how players, you know, build their decks and, you know, being able to see, you know, exactly what, like, techs that some people choose to do at each event and why they pick the decks is awesome to see.
Well, then we've got a great match for you this time around because we've got 2 wildly different Trickstar decks. While the core of the deck
you got audio.
is the same,
you were on mute.
Candina, Lycris, Lilybell,
Light
Light Stage.
The staples.
Everything else about it is pretty different.
Yeah, so we have one version from Destin Caspi here, and he's actually playing a copy of Instant Fusion. And we can see from his main deck that it's more geared towards spirals, but the copy of Instant Fusion, he plays Sea Monster Theseus as well as Rare Fish to help combo out.
To mute it. Check.
Combo. So
now you got audio.
Cool to see where that takes him during the duel.
So Rare Fish, water level 4, good for Xyz summons.
Yep.
And then Sea Monster Theseus, also water, but level 5 tuner.
Yep, tuner. So, you know, it maybe could just, it helps him open up to, like, we see him play Psy-Frame Lord Omega, Ancient Fairy Dragon. So, you know, it's going to be good to see how that.
Ancient Fairy Dragon could be very big in this matchup. Take out your opponent's light stage, get your own.
And a lot of decks this format is actually just, you know, using field spells in general. So it's like just a good card to have in your extra deck. And obviously, Trickstar Light Stage is just super powerful in the deck.
Incredibly good.
So it might actually, having Ancient Fairy in the extra deck might just help him unbrick his hand, potentially. So
I'm really interested in seeing how this turns out because he's not just running, so it's geared for Spiral, but cards like Psy-Frame Gear Gamma are also pretty good here as well. Just because there are so many strong effects, and at least one of them is tied into your normal summon for the turn, and that's Candina.
Yep, and then we see the other version from like Ahmad Fajim here, and he's like playing the more standard, you know, Joel Lockbird. He plays 3 Trickstars Reincarnation compared to Destin's, you know, 1 Trickstar Reincarnation. While it is searchable, you know, we can obviously see that Ahmad's like more focused on that combo.
Right, the double's always really nasty.
So
I think for me,
finally back here with Aaron Furman. So that was a pretty exciting set of games. You're playing the going second Spiral deck, right? The tough Spiral deck. Yep. How do you feel about this deck? Why do you think this is the better choice this weekend than the combo-heavy quick-fix-centric variant?
I don't really like playing Fool's Barrel Goods. I feel like you're just adding more cards to like your brick hands, but it does have the highest ceiling overall. This deck's more of like a kind of just make Deco Talk or Sleeper and just have that good enough to, that it's usually good enough to like kill someone just Sleeper alone. But the other deck like just does too much. I feel like it's easier to mess up the other combos. The going second, I think like Tough's really good addition. There's not many Spiral cards, so Tough's really good. Tough's also a Super Agent. Going second, if you have Tough and you call it right and you have Super Agent, that's destroying 2 cards your opponent controls. Then you get to do your own sleeper play, so that's like 4 cards if you do get to go off. I am playing a lot of hand traps. I'm main decking evenly matched, more going second cards. There is a risk I might not draw them and they might be able to combo, but I kind of like that risk because I am getting additional card as well as all these going second cards. So I get like additional Spiral cards to combo all, like one additional Spiral card that I might need combo off other when the other deck might like brick and not draw a field spell or quick fix, and like they need to draw Drone or Super Agent or call Super Agent right and another Spiral.
Yeah, so those are a lot of very good reasons. You're building your deck to go second, so it's better against the other Spiral decks. We saw how good something like Evenly Matched is game 1, right? And then you're right that like Tough is just so good at answering fields and gives you additional monsters to play, right? Because a lot of these games, because you're hand trapping back and forth, end up just being beat down games, right? And you have better monsters.
Just 1900 beat down, so now you have like 3 more 1900 monsters in your deck that just kind of like, if they do survive, they get potentially destroy a card on the field. So
that's cool. Yeah, no, it's definitely a very different take on what we've seen for Spiral so far. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations. Good luck in the rest around. We'll be back here at YCS San Diego for round 6 in just a little bit. Make sure to stay tuned.
All right, well, let's see how this is going to play out. It's round 3, and it's time to duel. All right, our duelists are ready.
Yep. And you guys can start playing. Go for it. Good luck.
So I'm starting?
Yeah.
I have actually played both these duelists before in a tournament. Now that I've played Destin quite a few times, but I have remembered playing Ahmad before too at a tournament.
So you know a little bit about how Destin thinks.
Just a little bit, yeah. I've played Destin like 2 or 3 times now too. So Destin's a great duelist. It's gonna be great to see how he navigates this duel.
We'll rely on you then for the inside information on what's going on over on this side. As noted, Destin is the one playing the really heavily tricked out version of the deck.
We see Ahmad actually having 2 hand traps. Not much to go with. Oh, he actually went the first 2, so he just sets the 3 traps and passes.
Yeah, that's not the greatest.
Yeah, it's one of the bad parts of the format where, you know, you feel like you're forced to play a lot of hand traps, but then sometimes just drawing too much, you know, just puts you at a negative advantage.
Not enough gas. Destin's got plenty of it, though. He's opened up with Candina and double Lycris.
Oh, he reincarnations banishes right away. That's interesting. He does it right away. Yeah.
Immediately gets hit.
Maybe he was just feeling that Destin had that good hand and then just.
After resolution?
I think that's something you can do when you've got 2 that maybe you wouldn't do if you just had 1
Yeah,
available.
it's because he had Drawn Lockbird, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He had the combo.
But unfortunately, that
second time around, it gets hit by Psyframe Gamma.
I did not see that he opened 2 reincarnations, so that makes sense why he did that. That's really unfortunate for Ahmad that he drew the Psyframe Gamma.
There it is. Psyframe Gear Gamma can be used if you have no monsters on the field. Negates the monster effect and special summons Psyframe Driver. It really stinks the Psyframe Driver was in your first 6. On one hand, you're like, great, it's gone for reincarnation. On the other hand, oh, I just drew a Gamma, now I can't play it.
So it's still battle. It's still battle phase. I'll take Cosmic, target set. Yeah.
Oh, he hits the last evenly match, too.
That leaves you with 1 card in hand?
I thought he opened 2 evenly matches, so I was wondering why he did that, but now it makes a lot of sense.
It's 2 reincarnation, 1 evenly matched. Oh, and he's actually going to get to Synchro Summon with the Gamma and the Driver here.
See, that's something that Destin's deck can't actually do, the double reincarnation play. But if he does do the play, it kind of relies on his opponent still searching something, which is still fairly common in the in this format. But
no, because I'm asking if we can end battle phase. He has a response. So basically, he has to
just clearing a little miscommunication about the battle phase.
Just in case there is another evenly matched. Now you have to really make sure you treat the end of the battle phase as an actual step.
Yep.
He paid for 1,000 for Common Cyclone.
I was going to make Psyframe Omega here.
Psyframe Your Gamma is a level 2, combines with the level 6 Psyframe Driver.
Destin's in a huge advantage right now.
It's really nice that he can start putting his cards back in the graveyard that were even banished by Trickstar Reincarnation. Did you see at the moment if he had?
I didn't see exactly what he banished because it happened kind of fast, but.
Well, it looks like his hand is still up on the screen, so let's take a look. That appears to be what he banished.
Okay.
Oh, you could put the Slumber back and then use it to get a Kaiju. Or you could just put Candina and Lycris back.
He Ghost Ogre the Psyframe Omega. So he can actually just use Omega's effect in the grave to put back something if need be. So he summons another Candina and we'll see what he searches.
Ahmad only had a monster to set. It's not looking particularly good. It's Lily Bell.
Yep. Searches Lily Bell and specials it.
Lily Bell, when it's added to your hand, except by drawing, can be special summoned. Only once per turn, though.
That's in the center spot, correct? Sorry? That's in the center spot. Yes.
The thing I like about Lily Bell is that she doesn't care from where she's added to your hand. So you could search her, you could get her back with.
Its effect is just also really good. Like, it does the most damage in terms of like Trickstar outside of the Exceed, but then it just also helps you reuse resources. So it's really good.
I've had many a Trickstar duel end with Lily Bell attacking 5 times and then have some various burn damage from other things.
Yep.
A lot of times Holly Angel.
Holly Angel and then the field spell as well, you know, light stage. And like I mentioned this with Robert, so the little damage definitely does just add up. And Trickstars just doesn't give you a lot of turns when it gets into the late game when they finally stabilize.
yeah, it gains 200.
And one of the things with Holly Angel that I really like is that it gives you some level of wipe protection against Regeki and Darkhold.
You are right there, yep.
And I'll draw this up.
Cards in hand?
I have
4 cards in hand for Destin.
There. Attack. Chain.
Yeah.
Brings Lycris out.
That doesn't point there. You have no hand, right?
No.
Okay, in battle phase still.
So they're still in the battle phase. Let's see how Destin navigates this turn.
Now, did you hear what the attack was that Lycris was summoned in response to?
I think
hang
it
on.
was Lycris attacking, but I'm not 100% sure.
Lycris should still be there.
Beforehand?
Lycris is in a zone that Holly Angel was pointing to, so it should survive.
And then we're into main phase?
Yep.
You're right.
That's fine.
That's one of the great things about her is that
Protects from destruction and card effects.
Battle and card effects.
Oh, he had his 1 copy of the reincarnation. Oh, he draws
Ooh.
Cantina. Oh, he's still in this game.
And he's probably kicking himself right now for not realizing that Lycris should still be on the field. Because all of these searches will be taking out Ahmad's life points if that was the case. And also making the Holly Angel grow.
Gonna go slow. That's chain 1, and I'm taking on chain 2. So I'll pay cost on over. And I'm gonna chain 2, chain reincarnation.
Sure.
Targeting, or chain 3, because chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. Target?
So he wants to do that to make him take damage.
So he'll take 4, yeah, and then he'll also take for Holy Angel.
So I'll take 800. So I'll take 800.
Yeah, you take 800.
So 2 and 2, 2 and 2.
And then she will get 400 boost.
It's interesting. Holly Angel's the only one of these effects that's actually activating in terms of the effect damage. Everything else is continuous, but the attack gain starts a chain.
Do you want me to put like something to keep track of the attack of this?
Keeping track of the attack points of Holly Angel can be...
It's already at 22, correct?
So, yeah, no, it should be 24 because it gets her burn and the burn from the host.
That's right. 2,400 from Trickstar Holly Angel.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But it's only until the end of the turn.
Right,
Yeah.
it resets every turn. I think that's part of why initially people kind of passed over on it. It's like, well, I mean, the extra damage is nice.
Yeah, people don't really realize just, just protecting the resources is so important, and the burn damage does matter.
And when she combines with the burn damage, it should create an even bigger wall that it's harder for them to just attack through with something first. It's a good monster.
Special?
Okay, so he searches Lilybell.
Well, if any card's going to get you back in it, it's Lilybell. One of the few cards that helps you kind of turn the corner and get cards back, but also gets you closer to winning.
Entering battle phase?
Yep.
Swing for 1,000?
Yep. 6,000.
Activate effect?
That's fine. What's your target?
It's 800 and 200 more for Trickstar Light Stage.
Yeah, it's a back.
And that does add another card to the hand, so you gotta watch out.
Yep.
400.
Yeah. I'm at 15.
And this will go to 4. Yeah.
Lycris effects happening on both sides. Lilybell put a card back in his hand. That causes damage for Lycris. And then you put Lilybell back in the hand.
Now it's going to use
for
Reincarnation
Lycris.
for the grave to summon back Candina.
Players, we are also still taking sign-ups for our Battle City Tournament, Duelist League, Yu-Gi-Oh! Day, and UDS, and our Winamax. If you're interested in playing in either of those public events, please make your way over to the public event stage. Also, there are 3 spots left in our Attack of the Giant card. If you wish to play in that event, you will need to come to the public event stage with
That is both reincarnations out of Ahmad's graveyard.
I'm not quite sure how Ahmad should Yeah, he has to pass. I think that's the best chance of him not dying.
Stand by. And one.
Destin draws a Ash Blossom for turn.
I think the Lily Bell is going to get it, though. It's 400 damage for the summon.
And then when he
another
draws
1,000,
for turn,
and then if he draws for turn, it just loses. No matter what happens with Holly Angel. The Holly Angel could attack either of those Trick Stars as well.
So it's at 22. Okay. Draw the top.
There wasn't much that Ahmad could do this game. Nope. They're proceeding on to game 2.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. When he got the Droll and Lockbird stopped by
the
Side Frame
Gamma.
Gear Gamma, that was really the turning point right there.
So we said that he just plays the Gammas because it's also really good against Spirals, but we just saw here it's also just really good in the mirror too as well, especially for the Droll combo. So definitely Gamma, Side Frame Gamma has a lot of applications.
It's just the challenge on it is making sure you don't have any monsters for it. So it's only great on your first turn, but it kind of has this bell curve of usability where it's great when you're starting out and don't have any monsters. And then it goes back around to once everything turns into top deck wars. It's great when they draw, their Candina or whatever thing is going to get them right back into the game.
So we're moving on to game 2, and then one thing we said that was very different about Destin's deck was that he didn't play Scapegoat, but we actually see 3 copies of Scapegoat in the side.
Exciting.
So he might just put it in when he's guaranteed to go first, maybe.
Interesting.
And then so that's something really interesting from Destin's deck.
I'd buy that. That makes sense to me. It's a little strange to me, though, that he doesn't have the other reincarnations anywhere.
Yeah.
He's running the Droll and Lockbirds, but just...
maybe he's not really dependent on that. Like, even though it's a great win condition, it is searchable.
It's true.
So if you draw the Droll and Lockbird, you can search it from Light Sage, you can search it from Candina, or just even hand drawing. So it's still multiple ways.
It could just be a situation where, well, let's see how many cards are. He's running 40 cards, the absolute minimum. Makes sense to me, whereas Ahmad is up to, at what?
42.
42. It could just be that Destin's like, I know the math. I'm playing a 40-card deck. Something has to go. And the thing that had to go was extra copies of a searchable card.
So we also see what each other's going to put in their extra decks. Their side decks. So we see one Cosmic Cyclone might go in for the field spell from Ahmad. Thunder King Ryo is actually pretty interesting.
That seems pretty good if you can go first.
It stops Candina, it stops Light Sage, terraforming.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting tech that we haven't seen today. And then Anti-Spell could potentially go in, just because of, it stops the field spells.
Slow them down for a turn.
And then what do you see from Destin here?
Actually, one more question. What about Heavy Storm Duster here?
Oh, that is actually very interesting.
I don't know that he maybe saw enough traps for that.
Yeah.
But if you combined it with the anti-spell, it might get more value that way. Over on the other side, well, Dimensional Barrier, not happening. Scapegoat, not happening. Strike, I don't know. The artifacts aren't super great here. I don't know that he was really prepared for
the mirror match.
So he might just stick with his Gammas and be like, well, I can stop a hand trap.
We also see Destin's deck is already maining 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, and he has evenly matched in the main deck already. So he's only playing 2 copies, and we don't see a third one in the side deck. That's pretty interesting, actually.
Well, you want to draw 1. You don't really want to draw 2, so it might be a case of he's just trying to massage the numbers so that he has the best chance of drawing the right number of them.
You would want it going second, so you would at least want the 3rd copy in your side deck maybe, but maybe Destin just felt like he didn't need it.
I wonder if maybe he's tuned his deck a little more to going second just in general.
Yeah, because we do see the main deck copies with the Kaijus.
Yeah. That might be something to ask him after the match if he winds up winning.
So the players they drew their hands for game 2. Let's wait on the screen to see what each player drew. Okay, so Ahmad chooses to go first again.
Ooh, he starts with Blackwing Gofu.
Oh, very powerful.
You can really start some combos off with that one. And we see that he's running all the Link Spiders, etc., that you would need.
I think he also has Is that a Thunder King Ryo that's in his opening
Yeah,
hand?
he's got it.
So yes, he did put that in.
He's got the Duster in there as well, Heavy Storm Duster.
So he makes Proxy Dragon. Decode Talker?
Proxy and Decode.
And he just normal summons Thunder King. Sets 2. Yep, and he has Ash Blossom. Oh, unfortunately. There's a Raigeki in Destin's hand. Ooh.
That hurts. That hurts a lot. And actually, Destin's hand is really good.
Yeah. Outside of the
he's got his own
frame.
Gofu. Ooh.
Oh, both players open Gofu. Very strong for Destin right now.
I believe that was Destin's 6th card as well, the Gofu.
He has Terraforming as well. He sets it. Just in case of the he's playing around Reincarnation.
Yes.
But it goes into the Heavy Storm Duster. Wow.
That would be pretty good.
Wow, by playing around Monster Reincarnation actually kept a mod in this game. I don't necessarily think it was wrong for Destin to play around Monster Reincarnation there.
That's part of why you put in Heavy Storm Duster there is because you know what your opponent is going to do once they see Reincarnation on your side. They're going to set everything. Link Spider and Link Spider.
Attack 2,000, sure.
Gets in 2,000 damage. You got to take the damage where you can get it.
Yep.
Normal summons Ghost Ogre.
Now he's going to Link Summon with all 4.
It's got to be Borreload then. You're not just putting a lone Firewall Dragon out there. You're definitely not putting Topological Bomber Dragon out there without being able to attack.
So Modular Strike.
So this is our first time seeing Borreload Dragon, I believe. Which is the cover monster from Circuit Break. It's Link 4, but it needs 3+ effect monsters. You can't just use 2+. Can't be targeted by monster effects. You can make a monster smaller by 500 attack and defense, and that ability can't be chained to by your opponent anyway. What it's supposed to be used for is to use the rocket monsters.
Yes.
That's what it was made for. That's how Revolver uses it on Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. But what it's actually used for is being huge, untargetable by monster effects, and capable of stealing things with its final effect.
Just acting as a monster removal while also not being able to be targeted is just such an insanely powerful card from Borreload.
Really strong. It's interesting how Firewall and Borreload are strong in really different ways.
Yes.
Firewall is one of the most complicated cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Borreload is really simple. I'm a giant monster that's going to steal your monsters.
Borreload is just like, you know, you can win the game from it, from just, you know, monster removal, can't target it. But then Firewall also acts as, you know, disruption. It's also a combo extender, so it's just cool to see those monsters in different aspects. Oh, he draws Candida, a mod.
Borreload's a really tough one to out, though.
It might be too late for a mod to draw on that because we see that he's already at 3,000 life points and that he has a Solemn Strike set as well. So if he feels inclined that he has a Solemn Strike, he could just die from the burn from the other Trick Stars.
Yeah, what we missed there was that he had a turn of essentially doing nothing and just taking 3,000.
Yeah, he just set the strike and he just attacked. Yeah, we noticed they also put in the anti-spell fragrances.
The strike can get rid of Borreload if it uses its stealing ability. I don't know if that's better than just getting a lot of damage through at this instance, though. I guess a mod would have to put something out that's worth stealing and try to bait Destin into taking it.
While at the same time, being able to see turns ahead in advance to where he won't burn out from the damage, and also securing a win condition.
It's really hard to put yourself down below 2,000 against a Trickstar deck. Actually, it starts getting scary when you get below 3,000.
Yes. So he chooses to Link Summon Holly Angel. So he's activating Reincarnation. Evenly matched. And Gamma. Or I mean Driver.
So that puts Reincarnation in his graveyard, so you can use it to special summon. He has to just start getting in there with... The temptation is to start trying to build your cards back up with Lilybell. He doesn't have enough summons to get Holly Angel huge enough.
I thought that was what he was going to go for, but then...
It's not going to work because you need to get 1,500 points worth. It's easy to forget about that minus 500 attack and defense. I like this, though. He's walling up. Wall up, use
going to take
Angel
the damage
as a
against
shield.
some Holly Angel.
I will pass my turn.
You have one in hand, correct?
Yes.
In end phase? After Borload, targeting Lily.
And that is lose attack, correct?
It loses attack and defense, I believe. Attack and defense. Okay. Can we put a mark on the Lily Bell?
And the attack deduction is actually permanent. It makes it a lot easier to take out if he were to say get.
He drew the instant fusion. The one copy that we were talking about. I don't think he's actually going to be able to use it here too much.
Target back row.
Oh, but he's got the Cyclone to take out Strike. That's rough. That's rough. That makes the Angel vulnerable to being taken. And the worst part is you never get that monster back.
Yep.
And I'm going to have to defend.
Which are you attacking?
I'm attacking the Holy Angel. Okay. I'm going to take control of it.
Takes control of it and moves it to a zone that Borload is pointing to. And then the Holly Angel takes out the now weakened Lilybell.
He also loses to Holly Angel too at the end phase.
Phase of the next turn even, so he gets to keep it during a mod's turn.
No translation.
Man, Borload's real good.
I'm not quite sure what a mod could draw here. I don't think there's a single card that he could draw to get out.
It's got to be Regeki, right?
Giving a response?
It has to be Raigeki.
It's got to be Regeki.
And then even then, he has to hope that Destin doesn't have any Trick Stars to beat him down next turn.
It's Infusion, summon Sea Monster of Theseus.
Okay.
And he's just going to use it right here for a Link 3. No, a Link 2. He goes for Eve. Interesting.
And he sets one. So maybe that's what he uses Instant Fusion for. To combo with Borload when he... But then he doesn't play Scapegoat. But I guess when he draws Gofu, maybe?
Could be. Maybe it just doesn't matter what you pair with Borload because it's so good.
I think that's game for Ahmad.
Ahmad has picked up Trickstar Lycris. He's got Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and neither of these
are going to help him combat the Borload, unfortunately.
Nope.
Yep. And he draws the Lilybell.
Normal summons Lilybell. And I believe he's got a Lycris somewhere. It may not matter, though, because the minus 500 attack and defense can be used during the damage step, as it is an attack modifier. And that's going to let Ebe take out Ash Blossom. And Borload will be able to attack directly for 3,000.
Destin Caspi, realizing that.
I can activate that if I think
damage calculation, you mean?
Oh, no, I'm not doing the
It's not damage calculation, it's just the damage step. The first thing that happens in there's a start of damage step, which is before monsters are flipped up, and that's where you use things like Neospatian Grand Mole, Ally of Justice, Catastor. Then you flip the monster face up, and all of this time is before damage calculation, and you can make as many chains as you want using effects that are allowed to be used in the damage step. And after all of those effects are resolved, then you get to damage calculation. At which point things get really stringent, and it's only things that say they can be used then.
Or like things that negate.
Or things that negate the activation.
Well, no, it flips. Okay, so
you attack. It flips in damage calculation.
It flips in if we had subset, so it'll be subset 2, and I could activate the subset.
And Dustin is explaining this now to his opponent.
It activates the damage.
So I should be able to use it.
So Destin takes it.
And they eventually agree on it, which is correct.
And Destin's got it.
Yeah, Borreload obviously being the MVP card of game 2.
Yeah, and we got some good good play for Holly Angel too by Destin. I really like that. Well, the 2 Trickstar matches we've had so far in this tournament, people are really making use of that card. And when Code of the Duels first came out, and I was seeing the Trickstar decks that were making the top cut at the regionals, and the YCSs and the UDS and that sort of thing, some of them didn't even play it.
It was more Gofu eccentric back then, but then now that they're, Gofu's at 1, they're kind of realizing that like Holly Angel is actually very good, just help protecting your thing, keeping resources alive, and then just the extra 200 damage obviously matters too.